once you learn how to do it, the better you're going to get at it, right? So today we're going to briefly go over what goes in an introduction paragraph in an essay. All right. So let's say you already got your topic. You know what the essay is going to be about. Now you did a little rough draft, but now it's time to put that essay together. Today, we're going to talk about the beginning stages of putting that essay together by talking about the introduction. I'm going to tell you, when you master the introduction, the essay pretty much writes itself from there. All right. So if you master that introduction is going to tell the reader what to expect. And the introduction is going to help you, you know what I'm saying, figure out what else to write. All right. So I'm going to share my screen right quick. I'll put a little presentation together. All right. And next week, we're going to talk about building the body of your essay. So the average essay, y'all, is going to be a 5-paragraph work. How many paragraphs?
5 paragraphs.
5 paragraphs, right? And those 5 paragraphs is going to be your body. Your introduction, right? And then it's going to be 3 paragraphs for your body, okay? And then 1 paragraph for your conclusion. So an introduction paragraph, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion paragraph. Ashe?
Ashe.
All right. So let's see here. Let's get this going. All right. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, yes. Good. All right, you all. So writing your introduction, right? Writing your introduction. All right. And we're dealing with writing a high quality essay. And to help us through this process, I pulled in a few great African and African-American writers to help us along the way. This gentleman right here is by the name of by the name of Chinua Achebe. Right. And he wrote a great novel. He wrote a lot of great books, but my favorite is one called Things Fall Apart. Right. And as we go, we're going to start with a quote. Chinua Achebe said, "My weapon is literature." Right. And look, Sean has a copy of Things Fall Apart. Right. That's a good book, isn't it, Sean?
Yep, it's a good book.
Yeah, that's a very powerful book. Right. And he says, "My weapon is literature." What did he mean by that? Now, he wrote a lot of culturally relevant stories dealing with African culture and fighting colonialism and things like that. And he said, "My weapon is literature." What did he mean by that?
He means by that is that he doesn't, in order to make his case known, in order to really fight for the justice of his people, he doesn't need to have a physical gun or some sort of dangerous weapon. He can simply use his literature and his skill of writing to convey his point and to stand for his people.
Right. So he's saying he uses literature, right? Now, he ain't necessarily dissing those who use guns. Sometimes that might be necessary to defend self, right? But he's saying his weapon is what? Literature, which can be even more dangerous, because when you get into the minds and hearts of people through literature, you can influence their actions. You can win a war without firing a shot.
Because words can mean things. So I think him coming from him saying that, like him writing things out and stuff, it can mean things. So
exactly. And that's why I want you all to embrace writing. I want you to embrace your writing skills, because writing is a martial art. Being able to convey a message through writing is a skill. It's a superpower. Right. And so I want you to think about that, because throughout our history, we've had great writers who've made great impacts on us, on us and on society as a whole, just with their pen. Does that make sense? All right, let's keep going.
Yes.
All right. So introduction paragraph, right? And I'm going to put this PowerPoint inside of the Google Classroom so you'll have access to it, okay? But introduction paragraph, right? And the great Maya Angelou is sitting there chilling, you know what I'm saying? And the purpose of the introduction paragraph is to grab the reader's attention and to introduce the reader to the topic of your essay. So the first thing I want y'all to remember, when you write an essay, you're thinking about the reader. Who are you thinking about?
The reader.
The reader. So not yourself, not necessarily yourself. Like, what do I like? What do I want to say? You want to ask yourself, what does the reader want to read? Right? And your introduction paragraph has to capture the reader's attention. Okay. A good introduction paragraph includes the following, right? Right. So this is how you make, this is the structure of your paragraph. You need a hook, right? Not like on the song, when you get to the chorus, they call that the hook in the studio. But no, you need a hook, right? And that hook is a captivating statement that catches somebody's attention. Then you need general background info. How do we get here? Right? Right? What's going on here? Right? What qualifies you to talk about this topic? Then you need your main supporting details, right? So how you gonna back up what you're saying, right? And then you need your thesis statement, which is the most important part of your introduction paragraph. That's that sentence that's really gonna basically sum up what your essay is about. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right, Miss Angela is pleased. Okay, all right, let's go. Boom. Now, the hook. Anybody know who this is?
Langston
Hughes.
That's the great Langston Hughes, right? So Langston is he wants to tell you about the hook. All right. So Langston says the hook. The hook is there to capture the audience's attention with a specific quote, a brief humorous story, an interesting fact, or an open-ended question. You want to start your essay with a statement that grabs the reader's attention, right? For example, a good hook would be, if you want to experience the Harlem Renaissance, study Langston Hughes, right? Because if I'm reading that and you say, if you want to experience the Harlem Renaissance, I do want to experience Harlem, study Langston Hughes, right? So, okay, that kind of hooked me in. Y'all see that? Now, bad hook would be, I like Langston Hughes poetry. So, that's boring, right? You didn't capture my attention with that, right? Right?
Very much
Here's
so.
another good hook. The great Langston Hughes once said, in all my life, I have never been free. I have never been able to do anything with freedom except in the field of my writing. Well, that's a pretty good hook, ain't it? I started with a quote from Langston Hughes. Let's say you're writing this for a scholarship. Let's say you're writing an essay for a scholarship or for a contest. It's always great to open up with an inspiring quote, because that tells the reader who may be judging your essay, oh, this person is well read. Y'all see what I'm saying? Oh, he quoting Langston Hughes off top. Impressive, right? And so this would be an excellent hook, for example, for an essay about the joy of writing or the importance of self-expression, right? And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and write an introduction paragraph in this presentation about the joy of writing, or why I love to write. Okay? Any questions about the hook? You got any questions for Langston?
No.
You have one question.
What's up?
Could a hook be made up of 2 sentences?
Yes, a hook can be made up of 2 sentences. It absolutely can. Now, you don't want to turn your hook into a paragraph, right? So you want to condense it as much as possible, but definitely 2 sentences is fine if that's what you need to, because you might want to tell a humorous story, right? You might want to tell a short story in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I remember my 5th grade teacher asking me to write an essay. And I remember starting over. Every time I gave him my paper, he crumpled it up and threw it in the trash and said, try again. Finally, you know, I had some that makes it funny, right? Boom, right? And I discovered my love of writing. You know what I'm saying? Finally, I got it right. He opened up, I got it right. He took my paper, he looked at it, he was about to crumble it, then he said, Eureka! And when he screamed Eureka, everyone in the class bust out laughing, and I discovered my joy of writing, right? So you may start with a humorous story, but it has to be a story that's a hook. You have to think, is this gonna catch the reader's what?
Attention.
Right? One of the things you never want to start your essay with, and I need everybody to hear this. One thing you never want to start your essay with is, this essay is about writing. Don't do that.
It don't even make sense how you even say it. Do not
start the essay. I can't tell you how many times I've had students start essays telling us about the essay. I am writing this essay about writing. Don't do that. All right?
I know, right?
Go deeper into your bag than that, right? Go deeper into your thought process. Be more creative. Find a quote about writing, right? From a famous writer like Langston Hughes, okay? Any questions about the hook?
No, sir.
All right,
Sir.
thank you, Langston Hughes. All right. Now, anybody know who that is?
Zora
Neale
Neale Hurston.
That is the great Zora Neale Hurston, and she is here to tell you about general background info, right? Right? After you get that hook, after you write your hook, we need some general background info, right? Now, when you do this, the first thing you want to do is you want to consider who your audience is and what their knowledge about the topic is, right? So if you're writing it and you think your fellow students are going to be the people reading it, then you definitely want to use background info that they can that you feel like they can relate to or understand. If you're turning it into your teacher, then you definitely want to do it in a way, you know what I'm saying, to where you think your teacher will be able to relate or understand. So consider who your audience is and what their knowledge is on that topic, all right? Also, the more specific your topic, the less likely your audience will be well informed. So keep in mind, if you're talking about, if Sean's talking about the intricacies of writing a cold 16 bar hip hop verse, right? Well, does everybody write raps?
No.
No, right? So he has to keep in mind that when he does his background info, he has to keep in mind that chances are most of his readers, right, are being introduced to this subject matter off top. So unless he's writing it for rappers, then he wants to use language that he knows everybody could understand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. It says briefly provide background info to keep your audience from being confused, right? So how did you get introduced to this particular topic? What brought you to this topic, right? So those are three things to consider, right? And considering all those three things, an example I came up with for my Joy of Writing essay was, I fell in love with writing at an early age. My mother gave me a diary when I was 8 years old and encouraged me to begin writing about my thoughts and experiences. Y'all see my background?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. I'm telling you how I got introduced to writing at an early age and how my mother gave me a diary and encouraged me to write down my thoughts, you know, and experiences. Okay. So now I got a cold quote from Langston Hughes. I have some background information about why I love to write. Now it's time to get into some supporting details. Do y'all see how this opening paragraph is taking shape?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I have a question.
What's up?
So is all of this like the background and everything going with the introduction right now?
Yes, all this
Okay.
goes with the introduction paragraph. Really, I've only written 3 sentences. The quote from Langston Hughes, and then my 2 sentences here about me falling in love with writing at an early age. Everything else I'm showing you is what I want you to use as your thought process when thinking of what to say. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. Okay, let's keep going. Appreciate you, Zora. All right. Now, does anybody know who this is?
No.
All right.
Ah,
Okay. This is a brother by the name of Richard Wright. What's his name?
Richard Wright.
Richard Wright. He's a great novelist and author, right? And he is one of his most famous books was called Black Boy. No, I'm sorry. Yes, Black Boy. And then he wrote another one called Native Son, right? So Black Boy and Native Son are 2 of his great works. You may be introduced to those stories here at the Uhuru Academy. So this is Richard Wright. Who is this?
Richard Wright.
And Richard Wright wants to tell us about the main supporting details, right? After you've done your hook, right? You gave us a little background information. Now, what's your supporting details? Why do you love writing? How are you going to support and back up what you're going to say, right? So it says, first, consider the point you want to make in your essay. What point are you making? Are you saying, is this an essay about how becoming a YouTuber is a very is a wise career decision? Are you doing an essay about the history of Minecraft? Or, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing an essay over, consider the point you want to make in your essay, and you want to come up with your 3 strongest details to support your idea. How many details?
Three, at least three
Three,
supporting
at least
details.
three.
Right?
Three.
I'm requesting three, right? Three supporting details, right? To support three strong details to support your idea. All right. All right. Now, each in its own sentence, you're going to state these details as a way to preview what will come later in your essay. Right?
No.
So now you're going to add three more sentences to your paragraph. We got three sentences so far. You got the hook, which was one set of quote by Langston Hughes. Then I had two sentences on my background info. Now I'm going to add three more sentences that are going to be my main supporting details. That means I already got a 5-sentence paragraph, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like
Right.
three sentences in one.
Right. But see, if your thought processes are flowing, right, your essay is basically writing itself. All right. So each in its own sentence state these details. So first, come up with your three strong supporting details, right? And it says typically your main supporting details in your introduction, these are going to be the topics in each one of your body paragraphs. So when you come up with your three details, now you got the topics for your three paragraphs. You see how the essay is writing itself?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So here's an example. I said, writing allows me to express myself without judgment. That's one of my supporting details, why I like to write. Then I said, you know what? When I'm writing, I feel free because there is no limit, the typo, there is no limit to my imagination and what I can create. That's my second supporting detail, right? Then I said, writing is also an excellent way to store and preserve information for future generations. So I came up with three supporting details on why I love to write. One, it allows me to express myself without judgment. You don't know what I'm writing, so you can't judge me unless I let you read it, right? Right?
Yeah.
Number two, I feel free when I write because there's no limit to my imagination. I can go to space when I'm writing, right? I can explore, I can create a whole universe when I'm what?
Writing.
When I'm writing, there's no limit. And then writing is an excellent way to store and preserve information for future generations. Y'all know one of the reasons why a lot of our history in ancient Africa is missing, as far as especially in West Africa, because in a lot of societies, they didn't write it down. They relied on oral tradition. If more would have written it down, we would have more details than we already have. Because writing is an excellent way to store and preserve information for future generations. When you visit the pyramids in Nubia and Kush and in Kemet, what do you see on the walls?
Writing.
Sculptures.
Right. And it's still there after 5,000 years. That writing is still there. So writing is an excellent way to store and preserve information. So y'all see I came with three strong supporting details and I just made three sentences, one per detail.
Yes.
All right. So now we have our hook. We have our background information. Now we have our three supporting details. After that, now it's time for our thesis statement, right? Anybody know who this is?
No, but she's pretty.
No.
This beautiful woman is Alice Walker. Okay.
Oh, we just got to talk about her. She's pretty. She did
Yes,
Color Purple.
this is Alice Walker. She wrote The Color Purple. All right. So this is the beautiful Alice Walker, right? And Alice Walker is going to help us talk about the thesis statement. Now, the thesis statement is the most important part of your entire essay. This is the one sentence that you use to clearly state your overarching point, right? Now, the thesis statement is typically supposed to be one sentence. Every now and then you find two, but typically your thesis statement is one sentence, but this is the sentence that's making your overall point. It's the anchor of the whole essay. All right. Now, your thesis statement should be one sentence long, like I just said, right? It should be clear and complete enough to stand on its own. In other words, this sentence got to be a sentence that if you wasn't writing an essay about writing, I should be able to read this sentence and know how you feel about writing and why you feel that way, just in that one sentence, right? Also, your thesis statement ends the introductory paragraph. So it should be the last sentence before your body paragraphs. So typically the thesis statement comes at the end. It's like you're making your point, like, bip, now let's get into this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So now you have to be clear, concise, and make a strong statement. All right. All right. For example, writing is a powerful tool that can be used for self-expression, expanding the imagination, and preserving information for generations to come. Do y'all see how I took my 3 main points and turned it into a powerful sentence?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So I just summed it up. Writing is a powerful tool that can be used for self-expression, expanding the imagination, and preserving information for generations to come. I got a nice 6-sentence introduction paragraph that got right to the point. And you're going to come away from this paragraph knowing exactly what I'm writing about. Ashe?
Exactly. Ashe.
So check this out, just in case you need help bringing it all together. Anybody know who this is?
No.
Y'all, this is the great Nikki Giovanni. All right. She's a great writer and great poet. If you get a chance, look up Nikki Giovanni's Ego Tripping. That's my favorite poem by her. All right.
Wow.
All right. So peep my paragraph, right? We just put this paragraph together. Peep my paragraph. I'm going to start with my hook. I'm going to go into my background information. I'm going to bring in my 3 supporting details. Then I'm going to bring in my thesis statement. Watch this. The great Langston Hughes once said, in all my life, I have never been free. I have never been able to do anything with freedom except in the field of my writing. I fell in love with writing at an early age. My mother gave me a diary when I was 8 years old and encouraged me to begin writing about my thoughts and experiences. Writing allows me to express myself without judgment. When I'm writing, I feel free because there's no limit to my imagination and what I can create. Writing is also an excellent way to store and preserve information for future generations. Writing allows us to control our own narratives, explore our imagination, and provide powerful information for generations to come. Booyah.
Ashe, that was nice. Good job.
Is that not a good introductory paragraph?
It was great. I was blown away. I understood what you were talking about.
Right. So using that style, and I think knowing what goes where will help you when putting your essay together. Let me get my hook down. Let me get my background information. Let me give my 3 supporting details. Then let me give my thesis statement. Notice how the 3 supporting details actually help you build the thesis statement, right? So now when I go from here and I start my body paragraph, my first paragraph is going to be about my first supporting detail. So my first paragraph, my first supporting detail here was writing allows us to control our own narratives. So guess how I'm going to start that paragraph? Writing allows us to start our own narratives. And now I got to break this paragraph down and go into detail, but we'll go into the body on next week. All right. What I want you to do, I want you to come up with an essay topic. If you can't come up with one, I'll give one to you, right? But I'm going to give you student choice because I want you to think critically. I want you to come up with an essay topic. I want it to be a persuasive essay. I want you to give me your opinion about something, and I want you to persuade the reader to think like you think, okay? So I want you to come up with a topic. I want you to come up with your hook. I want you to come up with your background information, your supporting details, and your thesis statement. So between now and Monday, all right, we're going to be working on an introductory paragraph. And by Monday, we're going to be going over. Y'all cool with that?
Yes.
Hey.
And I'm here to help you every step of the way. All right?
Great.
All right, cool. Any questions?
Yes.
No. Oh.
Okay, what you got, Uhm?
So is there any way that we can even like do this and then even gain extra credit possibly, like, you know, this week even?
Absolutely. Of course. You can get it done if you get it done today. If you get it done before school's out today, you can do that. Give me something to look at. Kanaya.
Is it okay if my title was trees?
What you mean your title is trees?
Like if I wrote about trees and
but okay, that's cool. But I want a persuasive essay. So what about trees? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What about trees, right? We should stop chopping down. So why we should stop chopping down so many trees, or something about trees. Because if you just say trees, that sounds like an informative essay that's just going to tell me about trees.
Yeah, I'm still
Right. Or you might say why the oak tree is the most beautiful tree in the world, or the palm tree is the most beautiful. What I love about palm trees, or something like that.
Yeah, I was just about to say something about the palm trees. So I'm like,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Lola, what's your question?
Can I do mine on vaping?
On what?
Why people shouldn't vape?
Oh, absolutely. The dangers of vaping.
That's
I
good.
like that.
Lola.
I like
Thank
that's a
you.
powerful essay topic. All right. Sean,
Okay.
what you got?
I have a comment on your presentation, Bubba.
What's up?
I just wanted to say that like you left out very important poets and writers.
Well, we still have a body. We still have a presentation about the body. And then we have a presentation about the conclusion. So I couldn't use everybody.
Bobby, you did a
Okay.
great job.
Yeah, you
All
did
right.
good
But
job.
but Sean, if you have some people that you would
did.
like to see, just chat me who you would like to see, and
Include
perhaps
that
they'll
on your
make the
writing.
next presentation. All right.
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, why I think
All
Bobby
right.
should have put more poets on his presentation.
Because that's what your essay gonna be about.
No, I was so Sean did it.
Oh, Sean, yeah, like why Baba chose the wrong poets for his, So all right, that's what's up. All right, so good job, y'all. Good job. It is now time